Welcome back. Now, the corruption scandal at Tembisa Hospital is not merely a case of financial mismanagement. Critics have described it as a profound and sickening betrayal of public trust that has laid bare the rot at the heart of a system meant to serve the most vulnerable. What began with the assassination of whistleblower Babita Deokaran has exploded into one of South Africa's most extensive and shocking corruption revelations. Let's unpack this with governance expert, Professor Mazwe Majola, who joins me in studio. Prof, thank you so much for joining us in studio to have a really important conversation. And I know in my intro I used the words surprised and even synonymous for shock, but are we really shocked considering that this is exactly what Babita Deokaran was flagging all those years ago?
Well, I think the extent, we knew that there was something happening there. There was some mismanagement and maladministration and corruption that was taking place there. By the time she died or she was assassinated, it seems like it was getting worse. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, I just think that the authority really did not move with speed or swiftly in terms of arresting the situation. So I think there was a high level of disregard and overlooking of what was happening there. When Babita was started with the whistleblowing, whether there were those people who were just saying, no, again, someone is just starting telling us this. So it was so entrenched, and really the fact that the SIU has discovered that it came to the point of 2 billion rand. It means that with 3 cartels. So it means that it was a very well-organized and very well-executed very, very bad thing that was happening there.
And Prof, you know, you speak about how clearly it just got worse after Babita Deokaran. When she initially flagged this, she was flagging purchase orders that are about 1,200 of them. Now, why she found them suspicious is because these 1,200 purchase orders were all under the 500,000 rand amount, and that should be flagged as suspicious for fraudulent activity. Now, fast forward all these years later, when we're speaking about just one of those cartels, the Majola syndicate, 101,728. Considering she was trying to flag 1,200 in total, now one syndicate has near to 2,000 of them. How was it allowed to continue so unabated, do you think?
So a responsible and an accountable leaders or managers would have moved there, as I said, with speed. As soon as that was discovered by Babita, they would have said, hey, you know, something is wrong here. We need to move on. Yes, someone might say that the department did suspend in 2022, at August, did suspend the former or the late CEO, the hospital CEO, and also did suspend the provincial Department of Health CFO at that time. But this was, it was not just 2 people who were doing these things, because you can see that different officials that were involved in doing these things. So I think, as I'm saying, that really the department, the Department of Health in Gauteng and the Premier, they already took their time in terms of making sure this was happening. Of course, we commend them that the ad they did involve the SIU to probe into what is happening there, so that the public should know what is happening. But the damage had been done. The damage was very huge. 2 billion rand gone. People died. And then many individuals and families that were affected because of this.
Yeah, and you know, Prof, as you're saying, we can commend the province for getting the SIU involved. But shortly after this happened, after Babita Deokaran was gunned down, we saw that 6 hitmen were arrested. And everyone was asking, who are the paymasters? There's no point in getting the hitmen on the ground and arresting them for a short period of time. We want to know who's behind all of this. And I think the SIU has painted a bigger picture of who's behind all of this. Is the Department of Health or even the province of Gauteng to be trusted when it comes to such investigations? A year after Babita Deokaran was assassinated, the Department of Health said they'd be investigating everything that she had flagged. Now we're sitting at 2 billion rand.
No, definitely, I mean, it cannot investigate itself. Because already you can see that governance was not, corporate governance was not adhered to in this institution. You would have expected that an institution like this, there would be an internal audit department so that these things would be audited, would be picked up immediately whenever things like this take place and reported, and someone who's in charge take a decision immediately and swiftly so that you arrest and you stop something like this. But the fact that they took time to make this decision, they are found wanting, and really they must be accountable for this, because really it's as I'm saying, it has affected a lot of people and a lot of families. So if the Premier wants to correct or wants to, I mean, inspire trust and confidence, he must show some movement there to say that there are certain things that has happened. Not something that will take time. You know, they must move with speed, decisively, take decisions, suspend people, fire people. People must be arrested so that the public can see that at least something is happening there. Otherwise, if they are taking this nail space investigation and decision-making, we are still deciding, we are doing this, definitely they are going to be punished heavily when it comes to next day in the elections.
And I want us to talk about the elections just in a bit, but you know, when we're talking about swift action as well, we know that the SIU found that 122 million rand in kickbacks went to different officials who work for the Department of Health. Is that not low-hanging fruit? Is that not where they should start in terms of holding those officials accountable?
Absolutely. There should be, I assume that in that report, I haven't read it, unfortunately, I assume that there are names there. Names are, certain people are mentioned, you know, and then just to pick up those people, and then you look into their bank accounts and do lifestyle audit to make sure that what did they gain, what happened. That is the kind of action we want to see. That's the kind of movement we want to see. But if it's just the rhetoric, talking, yes, we are dealing with this issue, and there are no tangible action that are happening, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for the Department of Health in Gauteng, and also for the Premier, because at the end of the day, he is the provincial leader and also the National Health Department. Obviously, there is up there, but they are the one who must make sure that the provincial department is held accountable.
What do you think happened to oversight? We're talking about, you know, a hospital in Tembisa, and you're mentioning province, you're also mentioning national as well. Whatever happened to the oversight that was supposed to take place? Why didn't anyone from province, at the very least, never mind national, notice that there's a lot of money being pumped into this hospital, but if you actually go and conduct an oversight visit, you will see that not very much is going on there?
You know, if it's a cartel and, you know, different people, internal and external, it's you know, there's so many people involved. They will frustrate any decision or any movement that is taking place, you know, especially internal, within the internal processes. If there is anything that the MEC says, I want this to be looked into, I want this to be happen, those people who are there, if they know that they are tainted and they are implicated, they will take time and they will try to frustrate and thwart whatever process that is taking place. That is why you can't rely on that. You need to move. You need to move faster and also use more authority in terms of. that's why you need decisive leadership. You know, people, men and women, who would say, I said I want this, it seems like so and so is fingered in this thing, and then I'll suspend you. And then those names must be mentioned so that the whole public knows that who's, like they did, they suspended the former and late hospital manager in 2022, and they suspended the CFO. But also we need to know others within the officials and those ones, because obviously what they can do is to deal with the internal stuff, those who are internal. Outside, and then obviously the police will deal with that because it's not their, it's out of their purview. But the internal one, those ones who are inside, the ones who are employed by them, they must take decision against them.
And definitely enabled it. Now, Prof, you mentioned the local government elections as well. When we're looking at what's going on at Tembisa Hospital, one can't help but think that perhaps also other hospitals in the province need to be investigated to see what's going on there, because if it happens so brazenly at the one, the chances are it could be happening at others. What do you think this is going to do for the ANC when it comes to the local government elections? Is it fair also to see this as an ANC failure?
Yes, it is. Obviously, the people who are there are the ANC employees. So, unfortunately, it will affect the organization. Unless the organization, again, we keep on use this term, move swiftly, unless the organization is decisive in terms of disciplining individuals, you know, people are very forgiving. As long as they see that at least something has taken place, there is an action taking place, that they can say, oh, Shem, look, we understand they were just individual people who were there, but at least the organization has taken some tough decisions. And so if there's nothing happening at an organizational level in terms of pressurizing their employees or their officials to make decisions, it will affect the organization. Definitely, with this, the organization or ANC will be punished heavily next year. Because as we are saying, highly likely that this is not only Tembisa. This cartel, more especially if there was also some connection at provincial office, it means that even other hospitals they may be involved, and it would be good if those ones are investigated, so that you can pick up and see what is happening. Actually, that's what the MSC must do, or the Premier must do in Gauteng, and say, look, we know that we are focusing on Tembisa now, but we just, in terms of wanting to regain trust from people, we are saying we are investigating all other hospitals in Gauteng.
And quickly, Prof, before I let you go, one of the big syndicates, the Maumela syndicate, also finding out that Hangwani Morgan Maumela is the nephew of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Is that also going to come back to bite them somehow or some way?
It might, but it will be very unfair, I guess, because we are dealing here with, is it a son or someone that through
marriage?
Yes, for past marriage or divorce, you know. So I guess it's not very close to the president. Probably they don't even meet. Maybe we're surprised. Maybe the last time he met him, if he ever met him, it was long ago. So obviously, politics are about optics, and then perceptions are there in politics. But I think it would be very unfair, really, to punish or to involve the president on someone that is far. It's a very distant relative, right? It's not even closer to him.
Prof, it's always such a pleasure to have you in studio with us and to gain your insights. Really appreciate you coming through. That was Professor Mazwe Majola, who is a governance expert. Now, to KwaZulu-Natal, where Premier Tamin Duli says he will engage with the SIU to assist with investigations into some provincial departments. This comes amid allegations of corruption, fraud and procurement irregularities.